Look out! Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basirico, and Hall of Fame sportswriter Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
Oh, we'll get to people under the bus for sure as we get going. But first, let's go courtside, where Curry Kirkpatrick, after a really brilliant coaching job, got his Carolina Tar Heels past Clemson just moments ago as we tape this show. Curry, a great performance, obviously, by your Tar Heels, who have never lost a game at Chapel Hill, and at least not in this millennium. Congratulations. Nice win.
18-0. Well, they got the last win. That was a terrible game. I could have sworn it was going to go to overtime, but Clemson screwed up the last possession as both teams screwed up possessions all night.
How do they call? How does Clemson call 2 timeouts in the last 10 seconds, needing a 3, and end up going for a layup?
Yeah, that was terrible. Rich, what did you think of that? Their plays at the end.
Well, I mean, just what Bob just brought up. I mean, he called timeout with 12.2 seconds. Then he gets the ball past half court and calls it with 10 seconds. And then they're not even, I mean, I'm sure he's looking for a 3, but what made him go to the basket? I mean, even if he scored, I mean, them getting the ball back, we had a foul right away. You got to go for the 3 in that situation, without a doubt. And the thing about getting the ball past half court and then call another timeout, it gives you another chance to explain to your players what you want done, but it also forces you to have to get the ball in bounds again, which they did get in bounds. I mean, there was no question about that. But I think it's harder when you're taking the ball from the sideline inbounds compared to taking it from off the baseline, bringing it up and running whatever play that you run. The thing about it is, especially by this time of the year, you have to have plays towards the end of the game where you need a 3. You practice it over and over and over again. And all you're doing is right now during the timeout is, guys, we're running whatever you name the play is. We're running the tiger paws, whatever. And here it is. We're just going to confirm what we're going to do. But, it's the same thing I see all the time in college basketball. I mean, there were screens. I mean, guys set screens. It was a stagger screen. But what he was thinking about by driving the basket, who knows? I don't know. I don't understand it.
Rich, let me ask you something, not just this game, but games all over the country all season. When a team brings the ball in from the baseline and the other team's pressing,
right?
Why does a guard go to the corner and that's where they pass every time they pass the ball into the corner? It's ridiculous.
It's totally ridiculous. And Curry, I agree 100%. It's the last play offensively where you want to go. Defensively, that's exactly where you want them to go.
Yeah.
But, in practice, what you do is, I think, you put cones in the corner and they can't go there. So when you practice it, they're not allowed to go in the corner. It's just like when you feel pressure, where do the kids dribble? Down the sideline, the worst place you need to bring the ball down when teams are pressing you. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, and especially at that level, to have guys go to the fade to the corner is beyond me. It's a perfect place, obviously, to double team. You got the sideline, the baseline is the defender for you. Yeah. It makes no sense. I'm sure coaches don't, practice that, to put it in the corner, but kids have a tendency to go that way. And also, why are they throwing the ball in like 2 feet? Start your guys further down in the backcourt and then come to the ball. You do what we call a banana cut, but they're getting their setting up so low, and then they split, and then they're going, like Curry says, right to the corner. Again, that makes no sense to me too. But what do I know?
Did you do that? Did you do that in practice? Put cones in the corner?
Yeah,
so the kids couldn't go
absolutely.
There?
Yeah, because that's the way
a great idea.
That's the way to keep kids out of the corner, right?
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So
here's another one I want to throw out, because we were waiting for the game to end to do this. Can we put a rule in? Can we give each team 1 timeout in the last minute, and that's it? I don't care how many you got. I mean, I think the game is so overcoached at every level that
and over-reffed, over-refereed.
And I mean, why can't, when you get to 1 minute, okay, you get 1 timeout. Otherwise, let them play. I think, you'll get finishes that way. The game never finishes this way. It's a foul shot, foul shot, foul shot. Terrible.
The end of the
This,
game can take so long. Can take so long.
This last week, we're talking about college basketball here in the first session. This last week it's sort of a desperation week. Teams going in their conference tournaments, they're looking at the bubble, they're looking at seedings, and you guys, there were some coaches that were totally embarrassed this week. I mean, getting beat by 30, the Patinos and the Caliparis and even the Iowa State guy. Everybody just in Arizona just blew out people. It was and then to come back though. Of course, the perfect example of that is your boy Patino, Rich, at St. John's. He gets absolutely destroyed at Connecticut. And after the game, I thought it was interesting, though. After the game, Patino had he took off his Gucci suit and put on sweats to address the media. And he kept saying it's all on. He got beat by 32, I think it was, wasn't it? 32 or something, Connecticut in Hartford. And he kept saying, it's all on me. It's all on me. And, that's a big difference from last year when Patino would blame his team and blame his players for everything. So maybe at 73 years old, he's learned something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, when he says it's all on me, but when you have a team go 0 for 24 in the last 17 minutes, I don't know who it's on. I mean, that's Bob and I talked about that last week. How does a team go 0 and 24? That at a major college basketball. I mean, I know Connecticut plays very good defense. I get it. But how can you not score one basket in 17 and a half minutes? Have you ever seen that happen before? I've never seen that happen before.
Well, and then he was, of course, dripping with sincerity when he said it's all on me, as only Patino can do. But then, of course, he got on the white suit and went back in the Garden and beat Villanova by 30. Right. I mean, St. John's is going to come out and can you imagine what the practices were like after that? After missing their last 24.
Well, he said that he didn't watch the film and he had his assistants sit down with some of the players and go over it, but he did not watch it. They were losing tonight, but I think they came back to Georgetown. They were down double digits, I think.
Yeah,
tonight.
They were, but then they were leading by 1 with a few seconds. I think they probably pulled it out. And, we got to get to, I know, Bob, you want to discuss Miami of Ohio.
That's what I want to discuss.
Yeah, another game tonight. Another game tonight, which they almost lost again.
Yeah.
Almost lost.
Yeah.
Let's put almost lost. They're still undefeated.
30-0.
What, next week, probably the conference tournament?
No, they have one more game. They have Saturday play at Ohio. That could be a tough one for them.
Could be.
Yeah.
But there are still most of the experts, most of the geniuses are saying they still got to, they're not in yet.
Yeah. Except,
that's crazy.
They're not in.
How about Bruce Pearl? Bruce Pearl came out and
crazy.
threw them under the bus.
Bruce Pearl, Go ahead, Rich.
He threw them under the bus. Saying, if they were in the Big East, they'd probably be in last place. And they don't have to. And then he talks about his son's team at Auburn, who's lost 7 out of 8 games. They're 15 and 14. He's talking about them being in the big dance, but this team is 30-0, shouldn't be there. Come on, cut me a break here. 30 games. I don't care what level you're at. That's pretty damn amazing.
We also, Pearl, obviously he's retired and he's been he misses the spotlight and wants some relevance again, but it was just stupid what he said. It was just stupid because then he brought up this point that if they went undefeated and they were 34-0, whatever they'd be, I guess they'd be 34-0. Yeah. One more and then 3 in their tournament. He said, if they were that, well, they'd be deserving. But if they lost 1, they wouldn't be one of the top 64 teams in the country. Are you kidding? What does he mean? It makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. They're in already. I don't care who they could lose. They might be able to lose 2 and get in. I would get him in. I would put him in.
Yeah. I would too. I mean, if you're
32-2, but I think they're going to go undefeated anyway. But it would be so great if they did. Because then they've confused even the experts. I mean, Lenardi on Sunday night had Miami of Ohio as an 11th seed in the East, playing 6th seed Louisville in the first round. Then by Monday morning, he was telling Kornheiser on a radio that he'd have Miami of Ohio in the 8-9 game.
Wow.
So even he doesn't, even he doesn't know. I mean, these people don't know.
Maybe they'll make them play in one of those play-in games.
No.
11 and have to go to a play-in game and make Chris Pearl happy. I don't know. Hey, on the other side of that, the only other college basketball note I want to make is kudos. Gino Auriemma, who should have retired after his last national championship, which is actually last year, would have been a perfect time to retire, comes back out and goes undefeated for the 11th time. He's won 12 national titles. A lot of people can say what they want about Coach K. Gino's pretty darn good.
Bob, he's not going to retire anytime soon. He looks better than a lot of these men's coaches who, are 20 years younger than him. He looks great. I mean, he doesn't look like he's. Well, I don't know, but has anybody else except you mentioned anything about retiring for Gino?
No,
I don't think so. I mean, he gets the best players every year. That helps,
But they've actually went through a little bit of I guess you could call it a downtime. A couple of other, South Carolina won a couple, and other people have been in the mix. I mean, and then boom, he finds it again, and 11 undefeated seasons.
That's
we
crazy.
Talk about undefeated with Miami of Ohio, and he's done it 11 times.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Let me ask you something. Wasn't Kentucky losing tonight to Texas A&M? There was a bunch of bubble and non-bubble teams losing tonight. Yeah. I think I looked up
Texas Tech.
Bob wanted to discuss about bubble teams and how they're chosen and what they've got a new metric this year that Dan Gavitt, who's the president of the tournament, runs the tournament. He described it to the media the other day, and I didn't understand it, but it sounds like it's called WAB, wins above the bubble. And what it does is measure how many wins do you have versus how many would a generic bubble team would have with the same schedule. It's supposed to provide a number to directly compare teams with drastically different schedules. So, for example, Auburn. Let's put an Auburn in there. Yeah. Auburn is a bubble team. It would be expected to win on this WAB 14.09 games against their really difficult schedule, which they've had. So they've won 15 games with the schedule. So they're only 0.9 above WAB, which is wins above the bubble. So now measure them against Miami of Ohio, which against a bubble team, which would have 25, which would be with their schedule, should have 25 wins. Well, they've got 30. So that's 5 above the bubble. Yeah. So they've accomplished way more than Auburn has with that metric. So I don't know if it means anything or not, but that's just an example of what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think there's too much math and then figuring out who should be the top. Really, how about just watch and look and evaluate? I mean, all this math stuff going into it is. Yeah. I don't get it half the time how they figure it out.
Well, if you watch the games, the Big Ten had a big change. I mean, Ohio State and Indiana are two teams that are on the bubble. They're trying to be, and at this point, I think. Some people have Indiana in on Ohio State, one of the last teams out. They're going to play, by the way, the last game in the regular season. But then, of course, they've got the Big Ten tournament.
Right.
So the one that loses that could get back in. But it's funny how one week or one game can change these seeds. I read where, for instance, Michigan State had a great week this week and moved up a seed, and Gonzaga, which lost to St. Mary's, their chief rival, with just one loss, moved down a seed. Now that's just these seating experts. I don't know if they know anything or not, but it's amazing how.
Matter. I was going to wait till next week to bring this up, but I'll do it right now. Do the seeds really even matter? Once you're in, I mean, as long as if you're where you get sent matters a lot, whether it's a long way away or close, but that doesn't necessarily involve where you're seated. I mean, once you get in there, it's shirts and skins, and you play ball, don't you?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, if you're gonna go to get to the Final Four, you got to beat good teams, right? Suppose everybody's good, so it does. I mean, it does matter in a way that, hey, if I'm a 5 seed compared to playing a 12 seed and that type of thing, supposedly by these experts making the brackets up, some games sometimes you look at and go, that's kind of a mismatch, but look at all the upsets that happen in the NCAA tournament. Right.
Well, last year went to chalk, at least down at the end. But,
right. But there are upsets every tournament. I mean, what's 15 beating a 2? I mean, it's happened over and over again.
And you look at these bubble teams, and even the first 4 in Dayton that they play. You can never say none of those teams can go very far, because a couple of them have gotten to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Look at North Carolina State 2 years ago, won 5 games in the ACC tournament and got to the Final Four. I mean, nobody would have beating the Tar Heels and Duke in the tournament, and then beating Duke again to get to the Final Four. Nobody would have understood that.
That's right.
But it happened.
Well, you get on a roll too. You're starting to play well. Obviously, you want to peak towards the end of the season, but teams, one game at a time, and they advance. And some teams just start playing with a lot of confidence and playing together, and it happens. We see there's always a team that gets to the Final Four, except for last year, that no one expected to get there. Like Curry's talking about 2 year NC State. No one thought they would get there a couple years ago. So
all right, let's take a break. We done with basketball, college hoop?
Yeah, I just later on, I just want to talk about a high school basketball state championship game.
I got a couple players in college ball I want to throw under, but we can do it in the next segment.
Save them. We'll do that. It's the 3rd of March. It is the perfect time to be talking about the National Football League. We're going to talk about the Combine, that terrific event that happens right in the middle of the NFL offseason. We'll do that when we come back, and we got people to throw under the bus. Stay with us. Welcome back to Under the Bus. Bob Stevens along with Curry Kirkpatrick and Rich Basirico. In Indianapolis this past week, the NFL Combine, and boy, isn't that exciting. There were a couple of controversies. Carnell Tate of Ohio State, the best wide receiver in the draft. I don't think anybody's arguing that, but he only ran according to the official timing, only ran a 4.53 40. And oh my God, that's going to mess up somebody's draft board. And he's going to fall about 5 places, and whoever gets him is going to get an All-Pro. And the Jets probably could have him, and the the Browns will be 2 of the teams, and the Giants will be 3 of the teams that could have him probably now and won't get him because they'll say, "Nah, he ran a 4.53."
That's true.
It drives me crazy.
Well, how about this one? They talked about Ruben Bain from Miami, defensive end, that his arms only measured 30 inches or 7, the shortest arm length since 1991. And now think of this, guys. Okay, his arm length isn't very long. He didn't work out. He deferred his workout into pro day at University of Miami. Now, the linebacker from Ohio State, Sonny Styles, had unbelievable workout. He was 10 out of 10, the best numbers tested since 1987 for a linebacker. So immediately you think, Mike, he's got to be the number 1, number 2 pick in the whole draft. The next day I looked up post combine draft, mock draft. I know these are mock drafts.
Yeah.
And in one of them, I mean, there's many of them, but the one I looked at had Reuben Bain as the number 2 pick. He didn't work out, and his arms are short, according to these guys.
Yeah.
Styles works out, has an unbelievable workout. He's being going as the 5th pick in the draft. How does I don't. So all these testing they do, arms aren't long enough. He hasn't jumped high enough. His shuttle speed's not very good. Why, as a football player, is how high you jump that important? Or why? I mean, shuttle run up maybe somewhat, and you're 40. I mean, how many guys run the 40 in a game?
Well, yeah, linemen.
Well, Bain's also
40. We've
Bain-
actually got one here, right? Jennings Dunker, Curry's favorite player,
yeah.
is running the 40-yard dash. This is, I think, a lineman.
But his mullet isn't long enough, though. They said his mullet's too short.
Okay.
That's the best mullet ever in the combine.
Yeah. He was all Big Ten at Iowa. Yeah. I mean, he's 6'5". He also said on a post a couple weeks ago that he drinks 36 ounces of coffee before he hits the field.
Wow.
What? Are you kidding me?
But
you know, Rich, your boy Baines, your boy Baines with his 22-inch arms or whatever they are, somehow managed to lead the country in sacks.
I know.
That's another thing.
I know, exactly.
That's another thing. I mean, who is he sacking? Dwarfs? Is he sacking dwarfs every week? Come on.
How does
What's
a
the
Tyrannosaurus Rex, sack quarterbacks?
But even the combine, they had those tests, the written tests, they see what your intelligence is and so forth. And some guys, maybe not this year, but in the past, have graded out like really, 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 really low, like almost like you couldn't even pass in college or high school. And the guys still get drafted in the first 5 picks. So why do they do all this?
Well,
when we talk about like we just mentioned, the length of the arms, how high they jump. Can the guy play? That's the thing. Can he play? And all these tests are done without the uniform on. Right. So you get the 40. He doesn't have his shoulder pads on, doesn't have his helmet on. He's jumping with no equipment on. So what does all that tell you? I really don't understand the combine that much. I really don't.
Well, Tom Brady famously ran a 5.28 40, but the best stat of Brady, he broad jumped 99 inches. What? Are you kidding me? 99 inches. I can jump 99, broad jump 99 inches was his. And he somehow made it to the NFL.
How many years did he play? And how many times did you ever see him broad jump 99 inches in a game?
Yeah. Exactly. So why is all that so important?
Well, it also got me thinking, and I went back and looked at some of these combine legends that quickly faded into obscurity. I think the greatest one is a guy named Tony Mandarich.
Yes.
You probably remember him.
Yeah.
6'5", about 300 Canadian guy from Tony Mandarich at the combine bench pressed 225 pounds 39 times. I mean, he was like a freak. In fact, Sports Illustrated put him on the cover and called him the Incredible Bulk. And he was signed. By the way, he was recruited to Michigan State by a defensive coordinator named Nick Saban, which I did not know. And Mandarich did some unbelievable things right when he was being so publicized and coming to the NFL. He challenged Mike Tyson to a fight. He kept showing up drunk at all these appearances that he did. And he kept singing Guns N' Roses songs. Well, Green Bay drafted him second. Okay, he made the cover of Sports Illustrated. He started calling Green Bay a village, which didn't set well, He's the only player in the top 5 guys in his draft all made the Hall of Fame. He barely made the league. He, in fact, his first season, he played 9 series, not not in 9 games, 9 series. Tony Mandarich played, and then there was a game where he played against the Eagles, and he faced Reggie White. And Mike Golick famously said that Mandarich was treated like a little toy. He was like Reggie treated him like a little toy, and Golick would keep tripping over Mandarich because he's on the ground the whole time. He kept tripping over him. So by 92, this guy was the biggest bust in history at that point. And Sports Illustrated put him again on the cover. He became he was one of the first big steroid users. Yeah. And in fact, he killed himself doing steroids. He did so many. Right. But they put him on the cover again, call him the incredible bust. So, I mean, he's a case in point. But look at how about Jamarcus Russell? Remember him, the LSU quarterback?
Yeah.
At his pro day, he threw a 70-yard pass from his knees. From his knees, he threw it 70 yards. So all the NFL people went crazy about this guy. And the Raiders drafted him number 1. He's probably can't miss. He was like 6'3", 230.
Well, there's a lot of can't miss. Think of Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf. I mean, we could probably name 10, 15 guys that are just bust, being picked 1 or 2.
Hey, Curry, the guy throwing 70 yards pass from your knees. I don't know the rules of the NFL really well, but I understand once you get down on your knees in the NFL, you're down.
No play. Right? Play's over.
Plays 70 yards. You're done.
That's right.
Speaking of quarterbacks who have probably not lived up to the hype, just in the last couple of days, the Arizona Cardinals have cut Kyler Murray, and the Colts. Here's a guy under the bus. The Colts, Anthony Richardson, is asking for a trade. Please trade me. Now, who's going to take him? I mean, somebody probably will, but for a
Cleveland Browns will take him.
Yeah. Oh, no, please, not that.
Well, all these guys are allegedly moving. Max Crosby, AJ Brown, Kirk Cousins is out of a job. He's going to have to sign somewhere.
But those are all guys who probably will sign and will play someplace and maybe play really well. Are Kyler Murray and Anthony Richardson done, or are they?
I think Kyler Murray still has something left in the tank. I think Kyler Murray. I mean, he's coming off an injury with his foot. I still think he's good enough to play in the NFL.
Oh, he's good enough, but Rich and Bob, he plays half a season, and then he's so small, he gets busted up. In the second half of the season, he's no good. So
he was also drafted to play baseball. Maybe he should start to warm up and reconsider.
Well, he's a great athlete. I mean, he really is. And he seems to be an okay guy. I don't know. I've been rooting for him, but he's on such a terrible team, such a terrible organization. The Arizona Cardinals.
We got baseball still to talk about. The World Baseball Classic. I got an ABS story to tell you. We'll do all of that and throw some more folks under the bus right after we take this break. Welcome back to Under the Bus.
You're in the background.
Along with Curry Kirkpatrick and Rich Basirico. What's the matter, Rich?
No, I'm just saying I asked my wife if she wanted to be on, and she said no, but she's in the background anyway, so we'll bring her on here soon.
We see you.
Hey, the automatic balls and strike system. I was watching a spring training game today, and I watched in the first 2 innings, the Guardians challenged the umpire's call 4 times on a ball and strike and won all 4.
Wow.
He was so bad that he missed four times. Stephen Kwan, first batter of the game on a 3-0 pitch or whatever, saw it go by and tapped his head, and they went to the thing, and he'd missed it, the ump, and we should name him here. Let's see.
Are they
Ryan
using?
He missed all 4 calls. The Guardians protested 4 ball and strike calls, and they got them all.
But how
Are they?
about guys? Think of this. So let's just say you challenge, right, and you're wrong, and then you no longer have any challenges left. So now you, as the umpire, a ball. Here comes a ball strike. Hey, I'm going to call it in the favor of the guy that has no more challenges, right? Because then they can't challenge.
I don't think the umps are
Wait a
crazy
minute.
enough to have enough
Are you calling out the umpires for being dishonest?
No,
Oh,
not
yeah.
dishonest. They just can't get it right. Not being dishonest.
Well, yeah,
They're
that's why
not.
you
They're
gotta
not
see
using
it.
that. They're not using that in the World Baseball Classic, are they, Bob? They're
I
not
don't
using
think
the
so.
challenge.
Yeah, because the rest of the world doesn't play that way. There are supposedly Italy is supposedly the dark horse team in this. I don't think they've got DiMaggio coming back, but Italy could be a.
Phil Rizzuto at shortstop.
Oh, yeah.
Did they? Was that our team today playing the San
Giants.
Francisco team that I said?
Giants,
What, it was
yeah.
19-1 or something like that?
Everybody's getting a couple of practice games in before
Oh, I see.
this weekend.
And
Japan
these
is
pitchers
supposed to be the
and the managers are all upset that their pitchers are pitching in this thing, right? Because they're afraid that pitchers will get hurt. Yeah.
Tarek Skubal says he will pitch once for the
And
US
pitch
team.
just 2 innings, right? Just 2 innings.
There's a limit to how many pitches you can throw.
Yeah, I think they put a pitch limit on them, and,
Right.
and they're watching them really close, and they've got a lot of pitchers that are going to get to see action before this thing's over. I think it's a great idea, though. It's like the World Cup of Soccer.
Yeah.
The team and root for them. The poor Puerto Ricans who could be really good at this, but 3 of their players, 3 of their big names, Francisco Lindor, Carlos Correa, and Javi Baez, could not get insurance policies underwritten. Bad Bunny actually even offered to pay insurance premiums, but they're not going to play because they can't get insurance.
Is that because of Puerto Rico? Their country won't give them
Yes.
insurance.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, man,
Weird stuff. Anyway, we go on. The World Baseball Championships probably not moving you guys too much.
no. I love this concept. I love this thing. Of course, it was so great the last time. The last inning, and Ohtani against his teammate
Mike Trout.
struck him out to win the game. Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Good
if something like that happens, that would be great.
Yeah, be good for the game.
I got
The Japanese are supposed to be really good. The obviously the Dominican Republic is going to be really good, and the U.S. are supposedly the three big teams. Watch out though for those Italians.
Watch out. Exactly.
Basirico's coaching them, and they're gonna be tough.
Damage, Rizzuto, Phil, the scooter.
Yeah. Bring back the scooter.
What a great name.
Let's start throwing people under the bus.
I got a guy, Bob, in your favorite sport, and he's out there front. One of the great chokes of all time, and nobody could believe it. Shane Lowry, the hero of the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Up 3 strokes with 3 holes to go at the Cognizant Classic. Shane apparently was not cognizant of the fact that there was water on the right, and he hit it 16. He hit it in the water. 17. He hit it in the water. 2 double bogeys. Loses the tournament.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a guy so crushed. I mean, he was crushed. You could see it on the court. He was just, but it's not no surprise.
With people yelling at him at the Ryder Cup, makes the putt that seals the deal. So that's golf, first of all, and that's also that the goofiness. One other little note I wanted to make on the World Baseball Classic. It's also baseball. Everybody thinks the U.S. is in, even though we just watched an Olympics where teams and athletes who were dead solid locks didn't win.
Right.
Baseball is a nuttier sport than
That's
figure
right.
skating. I mean, you run into one pitcher in one day.
That's right.
Boom, game over. I mean, weird stuff can happen.
Absolutely.
It's baseball. It's crazy stuff. Half the Yankee team, I think, is playing on the
which
US.
is some of the guys on there I kind of question, but what can you say?
Hey, you got your big guy in there. That's all.
I got a whole subject off the subject. It's kind of weird, but
Go for it.
it involves Rich though. We just saw a game between North Carolina and Clemson,
Yes.
and Hubert Davis was wearing a coat and tie. So I'm going to get on this. Coaches don't dress like they used to. And last week we had none other than Pat Riley come out, probably you saw this, and said that he thought the audience wanted to see somebody on the sidelines who looked like a leader, dressed like a leader, and acted like a leader. And of course, Riley wore a suit like nobody else. But I wonder what you thought of that, Rich. Did you ever wear coat and ties at games, or was that not a high school thing?
No, we wore coat and ties majority of the time. Because this was before COVID.
Yeah. Well, COVID changed everything. Apparently,
I know it did. I know, but it did. It was classy. It was classy when everybody dressed up, wore a jacket and tie, or at least a tie. Some guys would take the jackets off, but that was respect for the game. Today, now it's a joke. I mean, I've been to high school games where guys are wearing hats. It drives me absolutely crazy. I don't handle it very well. Hats. I went up to two guys that were in a middle school basketball game I was at, and they had suits on. I went up and said, "Thank you so much." They looked at me like, "Well, thank you for what?" I said, "Because the way you dress, I mean, you bring absolutely without it. It's so disrespectful." But at the college level, Curry, after COVID, more and more guys got very relaxed of what they wore, and then high school coaches did the same thing.
Yeah. Well, and the NBA also. The NBA went
all over.
The NBA,
I think they go back. I wish they would go back and get dressed up and look sharp.
The NBA came down with a rule that said that coaches had to wear NBA issued, leisure wear. So that's what they've been doing ever since. It started out with COVID. But, they asked some of the NBA people about Riley's comments this week, and they did a poll between head coaches and assistants, and 80% of them, of course, endorsed leisure wear, not wearing coats and ties. And Doc Rivers says this is a really tough one because those quarter zips, and he's right, are so comfortable. They're so easy to wear. But it's kind of been left up to college coaches. A few fashionistas are still out there. Yeah. Rick Pitino, age 73. He came out with his white suit the other day. It looks like the ice cream man, of course. But he still wears his Armanis and his Gucci's, and there are a few other college coaches that do the same. But it's really gone the way of Riley. I didn't know this, but Riley was famous for wearing Armani. And I didn't know this, but he met Giorgio Armani in 1978, right when he was beginning his pro career in coaching, and right when Armani was exploding and revolutionizing menswear. So Pat Riley became a friend of his. Yeah. And no wonder, so he had all these sculpted suits he could wear anytime. He ordered them.
Did he have a clothing deal? Did he have a deal with Armani?
I'm sure.
I'm sure he did.
I'm sure. Yeah. So I never knew that, but I always admired what Riley wore. Of course, I used to go to games. I used to cover games and wear a coat and tie all the time.
Right.
I would wear coat and tie.
Sure.
And I don't know why I did it then. It was just the way it was done.
Right.
And that was when all the coaches were wearing coats and ties too.
Think about Pitino's staff, Curry. Everybody on the bench is wearing a shirt and tie too. And a jacket.
Oh, are they now?
His whole staff. Yeah. His whole staff's looking that way. I mean, well, think about how when we used to fly on a plane, we used to get dressed up. Now people wear pajamas on the plane. Yeah. I mean, the whole world has changed with how they dress up. So
well, some in Calipari, Nate Oates, people like that are wearing jackets, are wearing blazers all the time. They don't wear not many ties. But I would like it to go back. Even the NBA, the NBA have the coordinated. They're all their coaches are coordinated on the sidelines. It's still not, it's still not dress up. It's not leader, as Riley would say. They don't look like leaders. They just look like the janitors. That's what it's. But the best line was by Spoelstra, Pat Riley's former assistant, who he's still working for him. Apparently, Spoelstra and Pat Riley would debate this subject all the time. But Spoelstra said finally, he said, we wear suits differently than, or he said Pat Riley wears suits differently than us mortals. He said, we just don't look the same as the way he looked. No kidding.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. Well, for sure. Rich, you have a high school basketball story you want to?
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I have somebody to throw under the bus, but I'll do the high school basketball.
Good.
So this is the state championship high school South Carolina Independent School Association.
Okay.
This team is down 11 points at halftime. Come back, they go up by 6 with 12 seconds to go. Up by regulation time, up by 6, 12 seconds to go. The kid on the team that's behind penetrates, and the kid on the team that's ahead takes a flop. And he had already been given a warning, so he gets a technical foul. So they shoot two foul shots, make them, cut it from 6 to 4, 12, maybe it's 10 seconds now. They get the ball out of bounds, throw it in, and the other team steals the ball, and the player, I don't know, as the clock is running down, there's about 2 seconds to go. He walks off the court with the ball like they won the game, and his teammates run on the floor. Well, there's 2 seconds left. Technical foul. Makes both foul shots. Now it's 2 points with 2 seconds to go. They throw the ball inbounds. The kid from the team that's behind takes his kind of off balance, throws it up there, hopefully it goes in. And the team who is ahead runs on the floor again before the time expired, another technical foul. So they had 3 technical fouls in 12 seconds, and they tied and made all the foul shots. So they tied the game. The game ended up going in triple overtime.
Oh my.
And the team that was ahead, that had the technical fouls, ended up winning. But have you ever heard of 3 technical fouls in 12 seconds in a state championship game, up by 6, and the game ends in a tie regulation? Kind of crazy. I've never seen or heard anything like that.
They can take the trophy with them, but you're throwing them under the bus.
I'm throwing them under the bus. I have one other person thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn, the coach of the Jets, who at the combine was caught sleeping. He's watching the combine, and a TV camera catches him nodding off. Now, here's a team that was 3-14 last year. He fired 8 assistants, and he can't stay awake to watch what players are going to draft. So Aaron Glenn under the bus.
I think he probably caught the mood of the event just perfect by doing that. Hey, I want to throw the Yankees under the bus.
Oh wow!
They're going to retire CC Sabathia's number 52. 52. First of all, who else is going to wear 52 except a guy in spring training anyway?
Right.
The Yankees lead the world in retired numbers. They're going to be the first team that has to use 3-digit numbers because they don't have any more. They retired everybody else's. But most of them, CC's a great guy. He's in the
I'd like to know.
But
I'd like to know the story.
Number?
I'd like to know the story behind the 52. He must have chose that, right?
He's always worn. He wore 52 when he played in Cleveland. So 52 means something to him. But
yeah.
What is
but
it?
Bob, how many years was he with the Yankees?
52 years. 52 years.
Why are they retiring his? I mean, he was a good pitcher for them, absolutely. But retiring his jersey?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Hey, on a side to that, the one team that has retired a silly jersey, and now they've retired it twice, the Mariners have retired number 51 twice. Randy Johnson used to wear it.
Yeah.
And then Ichiro wore it.
Right.
And nobody else should ever wear number 51.
Not at the same time.
No,
They
no.
weren't.
They were not teammates.
Right.
Well, if you retire, I thought if you retired a number, that meant nobody could wear it
They
again.
had not retired it for either one of them.
Oh,
At the
I
time.
The other
Yeah.
one wore it. Yeah.
Let's see.
But anyway, that's kind of the other side of that retirement. But I'm throwing the Yankees under the bus.
All right. That's a good one.
Needs to be honored. I like the way Clemson football did it, where the great numbers, Steve Fuller, a guy we all know, Steve Fuller wore number 4 for Clemson when they won the national championship, and they gave it to Deshaun Watson with a Fuller patch on his sleeve.
Yes.
But they like to honor a great number. They say, hey, we're going to give you this number because we think you're that good. You're as good as this guy who was.
Well, they called Steve first. They called him and asked him, would he be willing to give up his number for Watson? And he said, absolutely. And that's when they wore the patch, which was classy.
Indeed. Curry, who are you throwing under the bus?
Well, I'm going back to college basketball. We're a couple weeks late on this guy, but I've been following him all season, and he's the point guard of Michigan State, and he's a terrific player. His name is Jeremy Fears. You've probably seen him. But he is the latter-day Draymond Green. I mean, he's a blatantly dirty player. He's a punk. He's been a punk all season, and it finally caught up to him a few weeks ago. He got, in consecutive games, he kept calling for flagrant fouls. It was in the Michigan State game where he grabbed the Michigan player, Landabor, star player. He pushed him from behind on a breakaway, got a flagrant. Then he kept doing all this other stuff. You might remember his backward kick into a defensive player's crotch. That was against Illinois, I think. And finally, Izzo had to call him out because I think Izzo was personally offended because Izzo came out and said, I don't coach that way. Well, okay, but you've been letting this guy, he does these subtle things. Like he trips, he trips, he pushes, he shoulders and elbows guys between plays, going to the line and stuff like that. And he's been doing it, but finally when Izzo called him out, he threatened to bench him, in one game, which he didn't, but then he had a great game against Illinois. And so I think he's straightened around now, but I mean, he was a total dirtbag for a while in there, and that's how Draymond Green learned. I mean, Green is the big, vile guy in the NBA for years, and maybe that's what Fears is planning on doing. I don't know.
Hey, let me throw one last one in here.
He leads the country in assists too. I mean, he doesn't have to do this.
Yeah. The Southern Cal guard that is their leading scorer now. They're fighting. Speaking of bubble team,
I was gonna bring him up, Bob. Yeah,
I'd forgotten about him too. I don't remember his name. You guys will remember his name.
His name is Chad Baker Mazzara, and he's from the Dominican Republic. And this is his fifth school, five schools. One of them a junior college. He went to Duquesne. Then he went to San Diego State, and then for some reason he went down and played at a junior college in Florida, and then he played at Auburn. He was with Auburn last year in the Final Four. He's a really good player, but he's a total diva and a total head case. And what he's done this week, as you were pointing out at Southern Cal, he went and he refused to go back in to a key game. Well, the Illinois game, he didn't even show up for the team. Wasn't even on the bench.
Wow.
And they got blown out by 30. Then they're on a 5-game losing streak, by the way, Southern Cal. And they're probably not going to make the tournament now because he's their best player. But Rich, you remember watching this guy. He's a left-handed. He's really good. But he's a total diva. He doesn't ever pass the ball. He got 25. I saw the UCLA USC game. He got 25, never passed the ball. He's one of these guys who just comes down and he dribbles around. He never passes the ball. And finally, I guess Musselman, the coach, got sick of him. One night, he had 5 fouls against Northwestern in 14 minutes. He fouled out in 14 minutes. And even Musselman, after the game, he said, that's on Mazzara. He said, that's unheard of. He said, can you believe that? How does the guy foul out? This is his own coach saying that. And that was 2 weeks before. Now he refuses to go back in the game. Then he got hurt in the other game, Bob, right? And he refused to sit on the bench. He sat on the end line with the spectators.
And now he's left the team.
Yeah. Then they announced. Well, he hadn't left the team. They announced on Sunday that he was not with the team anymore.
So they booted him, right? Didn't
they booted him. And Musselman hasn't even had anything to say about it. The coach hasn't even. They just announced in a statement that he was no longer on the team. But meanwhile, Gilbert Arenas, the famous, Arizona and, speaking of head cases, his son plays on Southern Cal. And Arenas went on this harangue on social media in favor of Baker Mazzara, saying he shouldn't have been let go, that they should apologize to him, and they should give him the ball and get out of the way, or else. This is Gilbert Arenas. His own son plays on the team. He said they should give Baker Mazzara the ball and get out of his way, or else we're nothing but a junior varsity ass team. That's Gilbert Arenas.
As soon as he refuses to go in the game, boom, you're gone. I mean, immediately, you're gone. To get your clothes and leave. If a player says to the coach, "I'm not going in the game," to me, it's over.
Of course.
Good. Well,
but they should have. But he was. I don't know if you remember this, you guys, but he was a problem at Auburn. He's the one that started the fight on the team plane. Remember, they were going to a game last year, Auburn. They're the Final Four team, and they're flying some. He started a big fight with his teammates on the team plane. I mean, Southern Cal, Musselman knew what he was getting.
He should have taken him then. I mean, come on now. You should. I don't care how good he is. If he's that kind of a head case, why do you take him? It's Musselman's fault for taking him.
Yeah. Bruce Pearl chimed in and defended him this week. Of course, he said he was okay with me. He's kind of a wild man, but I remember him last year. You talk about getting out of the game. He would be playing in the game and take himself out of the game. He just wouldn't even play. I mean, I remember this guy. So he's so obvious with all this stuff, and it's no surprise this happened.
So what you're saying is the Kansas kid is a bench warming diva compared to this guy, as divas go.
Well, obviously with him having been at 5 schools, he's 26 years old. I mean, he's 26 playing college basketball.
I could say a lot of things. I don't think I will. All right. I think that's a good place to end the show right there. For Curry and for Rich, I'm Bob Stevens. We'll be back next week. We're going to find some other divas to throw into the bus.
Thanks, guys.